Hello everyone, welcome to this new video on European Escalation. So, you may remember the Clash of the Clan tournament that I was casting a couple of months ago. I stopped it unfortunately at the semifinals because I went on to cast the World Cup. But I still have one match to cast. It is the final between LVA1 and No Unit. So LVA1 has had quite a nice parkour. They have beaten the Yoba 1, TSP, What the Fuck and No Unit in semifinals. No Unit, beaten by LVA1 in semifinals, has beaten the TSP in the loser bracket over there on the right. I'm not going to scroll over there because you'll then see the results between LVA1 and No Unit. So No Unit is back in the final, and we've got LVA1 versus No Unit. If No Unit wins, we'll have a rematch. Since the LVA1 hasn't been given a second chance, they haven't lost a match yet. And if LVA1 wins, well, it will be a victory for that clan. So let's go for the LVA1 versus No Unit final in this Clash of the Clans. And so here we go for this final of the Clash of the Clans. We are on Joint Strike, and it's No Unit at the bottom of the map, represented by Binks, Werner Vinhol and Shifu, versus LVA1, represented by Delta, Crow2 and myself. So, here we go for this final of the Clash of the Clans. It's a 3v3 game on economy, 5,000 points to start with, no, 4,500 points to start with, and 5,500 points to achieve. So in terms of deployments, we've got two very different styles. We've got one style, very aggressive style from the No Unit side. All three players are regrouped in the middle of the map, going directly for Charlie and Mike. Their goal is apparently to charge and take control of all the high point sectors, which is actually what must be done in this kind of game and this kind of maps. On the other side, we've got a much more classic style. We've got two players going for the middle and one going on the right flank of the LVA1 team. And, well, that could be good to have a flank being controlled, but if the middle doesn't hold, it is going to be very problematic. Talking about the units, we've got one commander capping Bravo, one commander on Juliet, one commander here going for Charlie, and I haven't seen a second commander for Echo. We'll see if he gets that or not. All the units are the typical low points, low armor, but high number units. The Fuchs, the Zels, the Lynx, Saracens, all the recoilless rifle vehicles from the American deck, and we've got a few heavy tanks. We've got the Leopard 2A4, the Abrams, and a few ATGM units, the M150s, which are pretty good HGM units. So it's a big attack in the middle of the map, and same on the right side here. We've got the Saracen, the Lynx, the Jeep Toes, so it's going to be very hard to stop by we've got two commanders, so one on Charlie and one on Echo. On the left side, we've got Crow2, who is taking control, taking a position on the left side, making sure no units are attacking our flank over here. Delta is playing the major offensive on the PACT side. He's got 4 T-80s, he's got a high number of T-55 tanks, he's got BMP-1Ds, he's got one commander going directly for Mike and a few helicopters. I myself, I am playing the support role. I've got a few infantry units coming here, but totally destroyed. A few infantry units controlling the city and the forest over here, with recon infantry, anti-air infantry, and rifle infantry. I've got infantry over here on the right side to detect and slow down a bit any offensive coming here. Unfortunately, there is none. So I've got some VPZU, some Igla, and recon jeeps. One Black Hawk has passed over here, and I've got 4 Danas supporting as artillery against the enemy army, and the artillery that has started to shoot right now and is starting to kill the ATGM Milan F2 to protect Delta's unit. So that's pretty nice for now, but the problem is we have an overwhelming enemy army. The NATO forces are overwhelming us. It's a huge amount. There are 3 players against 2, and all 3 players have spent their points on cheap units supported by very few heavy tank and ATGM squad. It's going to be very hard to stop, and Delta is in a bad position here. He's attacked on his right flank over here, on his left flank over here. Right flank, left flank. He's got T-80s, T-55s everywhere, but against the huge amount of Zels, recoilless rifles, AML-90 Lynx, it's going to be nearly impossible to stop. He's already pulling back his T-80s to save them. His T-55s are getting totally destroyed. The BMP-1s and the Motosselci are doing what they can to stop this infantry and light vehicle offensive. It's going to be really hard. For now, the NATO players, so the No Units clan, is doing really well. They are controlling Mike, Charlie and Bravo, nearly controlling Echo. That's going to make a 4, 8, 11, 12 points against 1, 2, 3 for now for the PACT players. One commander that was going for Mike is pulling back on the right side on Oscar. The commander that was on November is pulling back towards India and is pursued by the Fuchs. The commander is trying to hide in the forest over here, but it is going to get well, the Fuchs are going to catch him, and we hope that the commander will be able to pull back in time. The OSA AKM are getting totally destroyed. A few ME-17s are coming in to destroy the Fuchs, but they are hiding in the forest also. It's going to be pretty hard. The Danas are pulling back and are able to flee from the Fuchs menace. 105 kilometers per hour, 80 for the Danas, so they are able to get out quite quickly. The commander here is under fire. The first rocket misses him. He has only 1 HP lost. Another Fuchs is coming behind him. And, well, the commander is in a pretty bad position. Back in the middle of the map, the NATO forces have pushed back every single PACT unit. Delta has pulled back on the right side here in the forest. He's got 3 T-80s left. He's got 8 Zalos over here. So for now, he is still able to hold the line, but it's going to be pretty hard against the high amount of light units present on Mike and Echo. On the left side, Krutu, who has no opposition over here, is trying to be useful, trying to push on Echo and put some pressure on the commander on Echo. Unfortunately, he's got what? 1 T-62 M1, 1 T-80 and 2 T-55 against a couple of M11P Abrams, ATGM Jeeps, Wiesels and Saracen with Fusiliers in the forest. Is going to be pretty hard to attack the sector, even impossible with those few tanks against infantry, autocannons, heavy tanks and ATGM units. It's going to be pretty hard. Back on India, the commander has been able to pull back. Here it is, repairing itself. The Jaegers have been killed by the ME-17s and the Danas, of course. So for now, the India sector is secured, but it's still just some time won by the PACT players. They are in really bad position. We've got the NATO players charging on the right flank here. They are sending once more all their light units, supported by a few, well, 1 heavy tank, the Leopard 2A4. We've got tanks here. Delta has pretty well played. He has separated his Zalos, 3 on the left flank, 4 on the right flank, and the 3 T-80s are playing the major front, holding as they can. The Model VTS-1s, Wiesels and Leopard 2A4 are moving forward. The Concourse is shooting at the 2A4. 2A4 loses 3 HPs, 1 more HP from the flank. The Zalos are shooting on the flank of the Leopard 2A4. More shots, 4 HPs left for the Leopard 2A4, which is in a bad shape, and 1 more HP shot by the Zalo on the flank. The Leopard is in a bad position here. He can't move. He's got a transactional hit. 1 more HP down and 2 HPs left on the Leopard 2A4. 2 shots missed by the T-80. Zalos killed by the flank on their flank by the Leopard, the Wiesels and the Lynx. Leopard still at 2 HP. Zalos killed on the right, and finally the T-80s managed to put 1 hit on the Leopard 2A4 and is totally killed. 2 ATGMs come in and 1 T-80 is down. The NATO ATGMs are really strong. These M15-182 ITOs are really strong compared to the U.S.E Concourse, and they totally sniped the T-80. Delta is once again obliged to pull back. His T-80s are pulling back. He's got no more Zalos to protect his flanks, and we've got Leopards, Wiesels, Lynx coming on his right flank, a recoilless rifle and ATGM units coming over here. My artillery is still pounding. Unfortunately, it's not really precise, and Vienna Verhold does a pretty good job of avoiding it. Well, it still pushes him to move, so the T-80 has the opportunity to snipe 1 ATGM vehicle, but that's not enough. Back on Delta, we've got a few helicopters massing here to attack probably Alpha and Bravo, but the offensive on Echo is or has been stopped even before it was started. the amount of defenses over here is too much for the army Krotu can field. He's got no reinforcement sector near his front line. He can't reinforce his army over here to counter-attack. It's a pretty bad position here by Krotu. He can't do much to help his allies. He sent a few helicopters with the Mi-17s, but unfortunately, well, the initial strategy by the LVA team was pretty bad compared to the big attack by the no unit players. 3 players against 2 in the middle, 1 player totally isolated on the left flank over here. Yeah, they made a much more aggressive strategy than we did, and it paid off quite early on, and now the game is pretty much won. NATO players are behind in terms of points right now, but globally they are in front. Well, they are spending much of their points. Delta is waiting for Papa to get control to send in reinforcements, but in terms of income, we've got 1, 4, 8, 12 points income for the NATO players against 1, 2, 4, 5, 12 versus 5. It's more than double the income. NATO players are in a really good position. Sorry, I can't see the PACT players coming back in this game. They are doing some kills here and there with the artillery, with the Mi-17s, with the defense, but the economic advantage is so big, and especially in an economic game mode. Here we go, Delta has spent some of his points on Papa, and the NATO players are just saving a bit. They are back ahead of the PACT players. It's pretty much game over at this point. Krotu had some units over here. They are too far away to come and help the defense, and they aren't strong enough to attack Echo or Charlie. Well, if they attack Charlie, they'll just be encircled by the Echo and units over here. On Alpha, there's nothing left. So it's pretty much game over at this point. The Mi-17s are trying to take out a few units, but a couple of Roland 2 and 1 Chaparral over here are enough to push back the helicopters. The Danas are still shelling, but of course the no unit players are vigilant enough and pull back their units every time they are shelled by the artillery. And 1 more casualty here. Well, probably if the Roland 2 is able to shoot its missiles correctly. On the right side, we've got still a few. Yeah, here we go. On the right side, we've got still a few VPZU, UAZ, Igla, well, observing the area, but they are pretty much useless. They were there initially to spot an enemy offensive on the right side of the map and allow us to send reinforcements via Papa. Unfortunately, the big new offensive was on Mike, Charlie, and then November, and we weren't able to stop them, so the flank units were totally useless in this game, and unfortunately that cost us our game. Yeah, that was pretty much the problem in this game. We spread out on the entire front line. Well, we were concentrated on the middle and the left side here, Delta and Foxtrot, while we should have concentrated on all our players on the middle of the map, as the no unit players did. So that's it, pretty much game GG in this game. I'm gonna speed up things a bit. Then I'm still shelling a bit, still some helicopters dealing some damage here, no anti-air defending. Roland 2 is moving forward, but the Danas are shelling. Unfortunately, they are tied a little bit too short, and the Roland 2 is pulling back just as the shells are getting more and more corrected shots. So we, the LVR players, are just pushing back our death warrant here, but it's pretty much GG at this moment. The Danas are getting rid of 1 M150. They are then gonna kill the recon over here, but it's pretty much game over at this point of the game. 371 to 227. We aren't even calling our reinforcement points now, and we are surrendering. We know it's game over. They have twice as much points as we have, and they have more than 2 or 3 times the economic power, the economic reinforcement than we have, so it's pretty much game over. We can't do anything at this point. So good game from the no units. They made a good strategy on this map, a big rush in the middle, and we didn't do a really good strategy. We were too much spread out on our front lines, and we weren't able to stop the big NU offensive. So we can see in terms of points, the NU team has controlled the big point sectors quite quickly and gave a big income advantage, 2,000 against 900. And then, well, the kills with our surrender and the big attack, they just slaughtered most of our units. So it was, yeah, nice game from the no units, better strategy, a better adapted strategy on this map than our strategy. But it's not finished. We still have our revenge. As I told you earlier, as we haven't lost a single match in this tournament except this final, so we have a second chance. So there is a second final coming in between No Unit and LVA. It's going to be played on Bistrani, and it's going to be casted pretty soon, normally in a couple of days, probably this weekend. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and see you quite quickly for the second final of this Clash of the Clans. Thanks for watching. See you.